This chapter is a crucible where the mental resolve of Chapter 1 is forged into action. You have identified the zero state, calculated your freedom number, and committed to the war against scarcity. Now, we must build a wealth engine. The engine is a twin mechanism of maximized income and uncompromising cash flow control. It is not enough to simply earn money. You must convert that raw earning power into investable capital at the highest possible velocity. This is the acceleration phase. This phase is defined by one core, revolutionary habit: maximizing conversion rate. The biggest lie perpetuated by the zero state is that wealth is attained by hyperfrugality. That advice, cancel the coffee, clip the coupons, is a mentality of a scavenger, fighting for scraps in the margins of your life. While micro-optimizations have their place, true wealth is achieved through maximizing the input and ruthlessly controlling the allocation of that input. We are not interested in the pennies saved. We are interested in the torrent of dollars generated and immediately locked away for future service. Your goal is not to be the most disciplined shopper. Your goal is to be the most effective capital allocator. The first, non-negotiable step is the creation of the defensive architecture, cash flow control. This isn't a budget. Budgets are about restriction and often lead to failure because they are rooted in deprivation. This is about pre-allocation, a system that bypasses your emotional weaknesses. You treat the freedom number, the future you, as a primary, most aggressive bill collector you have. The money is automatically moved out of your daily operating accounts the very second it arrives, before it ever touches your hands or before your mind can rationalize spending it on anything less than absolutely necessary. This is automation as emotional warfare. It removes the daily, exhausting mental taxation of having to choose not to spend. You have already made the choice. Your future is non-negotiable. The non-negotiable habit: every single dollar you earn is instantly split upon arrival. We move past the passive save what's left mentality and install the aggressive allocation model. A minimum, non-negotiable percentage, let's call it the capital ratio, must be surgically excised for future growth. The higher the ratio, the faster your escape velocity from the zero state. For most people, starting with a 15% ratio feels like a sacrifice. For anyone serious about the freedom number, the target must be 25% to 35% or higher. This ratio is your promise to your future self, paid first, every time, no exceptions. But before that capital ratio can truly fuel the engine, we must neutralize the enemy already inside the gates: high interest debt. This debt, credit cards, personal loans, predatory financing, is not a burden. It is a virulent financial tumor that feeds on your future. It is the most powerful negative feedback loop in the economic world, ensuring that every small step forward you take is instantly negated by corrosive interest percentage that you willingly pay to rent consumption that is already long gone. This is a visceral problem demanding a graphic solution. Every dollar of high-interest debt carries an emotional weight equivalent to losing a limb. You are paying 20% or 30% interest to rent the past. The fastest way to guarantee an immediate, risk-free 20 to 30% return on investment is to kill this debt. This is not a nuanced discussion. It is a scorched earth policy, a financial triage that takes precedence over almost all other goals. This is a debt crucible. You must suffer the discomfort of living a smaller life now to eliminate the possibility of living a crippled life forever. You must feel the pain of redirecting every non-essential dollar, every bonus, every unexpected windfall, and every ounce of saved spending from your pre-allocation system toward the principle of the highest interest debt. You need to look at the interest charges on your statements not as abstract numbers, but as the hours of your life you are forced to give up to satisfy the bank. You are trading future time for past gratification, and the only way out is through concentrated, deliberate pain. The shame, the pain, the urgency, you must channel all of it into the relentless execution of the debt snowball, momentum-based, or avalanche, math-based, method. This period is brutal. It is temporary, and it is a necessary purification ritual before capital accumulation can truly begin. Failure to address this debt is financial malpractice. It is a deliberate choice to run a race with a ball and chain welded to your ankle. Once the high-interest debt is neutralized, and only then, does the capital ratio fully engage. Let's use a 30% capital ratio as our working model. 30% of your gross income goes immediately and automatically into segregated accounts: the future fund, the investment vehicle, and the emergency fortification, the safety net, which must be built up to cover 3 to 6 months of your survival number. The remaining 70% is your operational budget. This operational budget is where the discipline lives. You do not try to squeeze 31% into the remaining 70%. You simply live within it. This is a simple, brutal truth of cash flow control. You decide your lifestyle based on percentage left over after paying your future self, not the other way around. The money for consumption is finite, clearly defined, and emotionally separated from your freedom number capital. This segregation is a psychological war between the consumer you and the creator you. The ultimate measure of your success in this first phase is a conversion rate, the percentage of your gross income you successfully convert into investable assets. A high conversion rate, sustained over time, is a signature of someone who has mastered the defensive architecture of wealth. It proves that you are no longer a passive vessel for market forces. You are a deliberate, disciplined machine for capital accumulation. This habit of systematic pre-allocation provides a first taste of true financial control. The defensive architecture is essential, but it is only half the engine. You cannot cut your way to massive wealth. The ceiling on cost reduction is 100%. The ceiling on income generation is infinite. The second, more demanding habit is the offensive strategy, income acceleration. This is a habit of making your time and effort worth exponentially more than it is right now. If your conversion rate is high, increasing your income by $1 is functionally worth $1.30 or $1.40, because 30% or 40% of that new dollar immediately accelerates your freedom number timeline. The zero state teaches you to trade time for money. The wealth habit demands you trade value for money. The difference is critical. Time is a commodity. Value is leverage. If you are paid an hourly wage, you are capped. If you are paid for a high-value, market-essential skill that solves a painful problem for a business or consumer, your earning potential is uncapped. The core of the offensive strategy is the high-leverage skill acquisition. You must identify a skill that is scarce, difficult to master, and directly tied to generating revenue, reducing costs, or increasing efficiency for others. Forget passive hobbies for now. This is a cold, calculated exercise in market arbitrage. What is the most painful, expensive problem currently facing your employer or your market? Become the person who solves it, not casually, but ruthlessly. This requires dedicating 10 to 15 hours a week, every week, to deliberate, structured practice and learning. This is not scrolling through endless content. This is deep, focused, uncomfortable work. The chosen skill must be directly measurable. Can you quantify its impact on the bottom line? If the answer is no, the market will not pay a premium for it. This process of skill refinement allows you to practice value arbitrage. Once you have a high leverage skill, your next move is to seek out the highest paying environment for that skill. This might mean a job jump, a radical career change, or, most potently, the creation of a side architecture, the side engine. The side engine is any controlled venture where you sell your high leverage skill directly to a market outside your primary employment. It allows you to test market demand, price your services based on value delivered, and, critically, generate an entirely separate stream of capital that is emotionally isolated from your day-to-day spending. This side engine capital is sacred. It must be funneled directly into the future fund, bypassing the operational budget entirely. It is a dedicated rocket booster for your freedom number. To master income acceleration, you must embrace the habit of negotiation as a duty. The biggest gap between your current income and your potential income is often the simple failure to ask for more. This failure is rooted in the scarcity anchor, the fear of rejection, the belief that your value is fixed. You are obligated to negotiate your salary, your rates, and your service fees every time the opportunity arises. Treat negotiation not as confrontation, but as a business transaction where you are simply claiming the market value of the unique solution you provide. Prepare the data, quantify your value, and execute the negotiation with clinical detachment. Every successful negotiation permanently raises your ceiling, accelerates your conversion rate, and brings the freedom number closer. The true breakthrough of the acceleration phase is when your defensive architecture, cash flow control, and your offensive strategy, income acceleration, merge. You are now a factory. One side generates maximum power, and the other side funnels a maximum percentage of that power into the investment pipeline. You are generating a growing surplus that the market forces cannot touch, and this surplus is a raw material for the next and most critical phase, turning the surplus into self-replicating wealth. The machine is running. It is time to feed the beast.